Hey team, this is Ripper here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you're doing well and having a great day today. Just playing game of shooting ships, if you will, but World Warships. So the title of this video is really about something that has been bothering me, but also bothering a lot of the community, and we'll talk about it. So if you guys would love to help us get to 100 subscribers, that's one of our goals right now. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button, notify bell if you want to be updated on up and coming videos, and we really appreciate the support and those that are supporting us right now. So hey guys, this is really just talking and having open discussion about the topic that a lot of people are talking about these days, or the agenda and the meta and all these things. The discussions is really that I would say pushing or brawling or anything regarding close quarter battles or close contact with other ships is kind of gone because of the way the game has been designed. And I think we can talk about it and address a few of the reasons why. And this video talks about, and in this, actually I'm in the Puerto Rico in this game, and I'll show you exactly why. One of the reasons, and I don't know how to change this honestly, because it's just the nature of warfare, it's the nature of the game, it's the nature of human beings, of how things eventually become the way they are. And you just see the progression of it, and it's a great topic and discussion to talk about, and I'm open to discussion of how we can fix this. So Puerto Rico, now I'm only playing this in a ranked game. Obviously you can do it in a random. It doesn't matter really how many players are in it. It's just the way the game is designed. So watch. So first initial contact, obviously my concealment, and I fire. Everybody can see where everybody's at. You fire, and what's the first thing you do? You turn away or kite away as a defensive technique. Otherwise, what's the point of driving straight ahead and providing yourself as a juicy target? That doesn't make tactical sense, if you will. Again, there's one point right there. It doesn't make tactical sense for you to push in and expose yourself to fire. Every warfare and every person, everybody in the history of time understands that you don't expose yourself to enemy fire for the purposes of enjoyment. I mean, obviously this is a game, but I'm just telling you the reason why this game is evolving because of that reason is human nature, technology. It's more of a standoff kind of mentality nowadays, and also there's no reward in pushing. I mean, what's the reward in dying right off the bat, right? So think about that for a second. And you notice, like, okay, for example, this Puerto Rico. The only thing I can really do right now, because my range is about 18.8, I got some pretty good range, right? I have 12 guns, and I can shoot a lot of HE. You notice I already have 4 fires in the first 3 minutes of the game, and they're just causing problems and burning, and you'll read the chat. A lot of people are just, I think the chat talks about it, but yeah, I mean, this is really, me and the Hindi here are really going to sit back and just hold A flank. I mean, you watch the throughout the match here, you're going to see the B cap team is going to go for C with only 2 people over there, and they're just going to slowly wear them down, and there's another fire right there. They're going to slowly wear down the eastern flank, and really, me and the Hindi, literally by ourselves, hold off the majority of the brute force of the enemy team right now. And why? Because the enemy team doesn't want to push up, and they have the A cap, and it takes too much time for them to turn around and go help C, so the only thing for them to do really is to try to kill us. I mean, right? I mean, either they just sit there and hold A, and the inevitable is about to happen. They're going to get flanked by the B team, and really there's nothing they can do about it because it takes too much time for them to turn back around. And by doing so, they'll expose themselves. Now, this is a game. It's kind of boring just sailing ships around and turning around. So what's the natural human being thing to do? We are, adrenaline rushed or ADD people or whatever. We want a clicky and shooty kind of thing. Pointy, tooty, rooty, tooty, clicky, shooty, right? And that's exactly what we want to do. And that is the ultimate downfall. I mean, it doesn't reward you to be silent. It doesn't reward you to be stealthy. It doesn't reward you to want to try to push in. Like, for instance, this Iowa here, a great battleship, one of the best. I don't know why it's not a tier 10. The Iowa class with the Missouri and the Wisconsin, I believe, one of the best, I would say, Iowa class battleships of history. They are really not as great as they could be. And I mean, he's almost full HP at the beginning, and now look, all I'm doing, and all I can do, is kite away, use my range, to my 12 guns, and spam HD and just keep firing. And that's all I can do. And there's been a lot of talk about this with wargaming, and I don't know how they're going to change it really, because the only thing I can think about is you got to be rewarded to want to push forward. I mean, see, look, I was shooting, doing almost little damage. I'm a super cruiser really, and there goes Kremlin taking out the Petro. This is the beginning of the end. This is where they start wiping out the entire C flank, and they'll just push and outflank the current team that's sitting at A, which they can't do anything. All they're going to do is sit there, and I have no reason why they wouldn't. And now all Iowa can do is sit back, and a battleship is not really designed to just sit and hide behind an island, really. A battleship was designed to absorb damage, go forward, ricochet a lot of the shells and everything, take on the damage in the sense of, take on incoming fire, but not die as fast as well. And that was another thing brought up in the whole discussion forum is really, so a battleship, which is supposed to be a tank basically, is supposed to absorb damage but also survive it. In a sense, because it's too easy to burn a ship down. And fire, I said in one of my last videos, is one of the deadliest enemies of any kind of ship, in the water, ironically, is to burn to death. And it's so easy. I mean, look, I can sit back here with 12 guns just watching constantly firing, adrenaline rush kicking in, so my reload's starting to go down, getting a better demo, and boom, another fire. I mean, I could sit here all day and hide behind something while he just sits there and burns, and he can't do anything about it because he's already probably used his damage con. And look, I got a fire. I can put that out right away. Cruisers have a little bit quicker refresh, about a minute on the damage con, and that's all the Iowa can do to me. I mean, what other tactical advantages do they do but to stand off, which is the evolution of weapons, right? At first, we started with hand-to-hand combat, knives, sticks, stones, all those things, sharp objects, and we started moving away from bow and arrows to rifles, muskets, and cannons, and then artillery, and that's essentially where we're at right now. We are floating pieces of artillery, and again, look at that, burning to death, getting hit with HE, which doesn't care about angles of shells. I mean, it doesn't matter what angle Iowa takes, my shells will penetrate because these are 305 millimeter guns on the Puerto Rico. Much bigger guns than the Alaska and the other. I'm sorry, not the Alaska, the other cruisers. I think the Alaska does have a 305, but look, he's literally going to sit there at 6,000 health now. I mean, that's all he has left, and now he's done little damage to me. And that's it. I mean, Iowa, I think the other Iowa, or there's another Iowa. Yeah, the Iowa took out the Shimakaze with a blap. That was pretty good. And now look at the Agger here. Agger, a premium ship as well. Also very tanky and everything, but what can you do against this onslaught? I mean, he stopped dead in his tracks. He sat there and thought about it and goes, should I push or not? I mean, why should we even have to think about this? He's in open water. Of course you got to move. I mean, you're in open water, right? Your concealment nowadays with cruisers is pretty bad, so you're spotted regardless. And now you're getting, look, HE shells there. I'm shooting HE. What else is there to do but stand off and shoot HE? And I'm hiding behind an island now, and I'm not even spotted at all. And just look at the amount of damage. 10 fires and 103,000 damage, and only 8 minutes have elapsed. I mean, imagine if there was 6 more ships involved here. That's why I'm saying it really is very difficult to combat this other than to stand off, stay in the back, or stay behind islands. And I mean, I know they put in the domination cap points and everything to entice you to move forward, but that can be done by DDs or somebody with better concealment. While everybody else, cruisers and battleships, literally just sitting in the back or just hiding or not even doing anything and really not contributing to the fight. And you notice the Hindi and I just burned everybody to death. I mean, look how far back we are. We are literally in the A and B region of our thing. And I hate to be this kind of player, but there's nothing else for me to do other than the fact that I should, defensively, I cannot absorb damage heavily from a battleship. I'm a cruiser, even though I'm a super cruiser. I can only take so much damage at a time, as well as being in the process of being burned myself. The only thing for me to do is run away, kite, take potential damage. I mean, I have over 1.2 million potential damage shot at me with only 7 ships playing against me. And then, of course, I'm dealing out HE myself. And that's really all this game has turned out to be. It's just really long-range launching of shells and spraying and praying and hoping something connects to start a fire. And hopefully somebody else starts another fire, perma-fires that burn the ground. And that's really it. I mean, I didn't even use my radar. I mean, I had no reason to. I wasn't even near anything. I wasn't around anything. And essentially, the only time that pushes happen is in this situation where there's only one guy left. Okay, one guy left, now we can push because we're not at risk of losing our ship or dying or whatever because, again, it doesn't reward, there is no mechanism or any, in essence, to push in. And even in the battlefield of real world, I haven't seen a reason to expose yourself to an enemy to have a reward other than the fact you're going to sacrifice yourself to save a teammate or something like that. But again, in this is just a game now, I'm just saying, but this is a very good simulation. And all games are simulations as to what would really happen in reality. And in reality, if this was true battle, like this is exactly what would happen. That we would be standing off, we would not push in, try to brawl. Our secondaries are worthless, because back in the day I thought secondaries was the fun aspect of it, because there is no reward other than secondaries firing, hitting, and killing. That was the reward of the game. So again, let me know your thoughts about it. I don't know the proper solution really and what we can do to entice people and reward people in a game that's based on rewards to get people to move forward. So hope you guys are doing great. Let me know what your thoughts and help us get to 100 subscribers. Until then, cheers.